You know, people often say, I'm doing the right thing. I'm on the righteous path. But what if being right becomes your biggest bondage? Let's talk about that today. When I started this journey of exploring Dharma, I realized something rather strange. And most of our inner conflicts don't come from doing the wrong thing. They come from wanting to be right. Think about that for a minute, people. Every argument, every hurt feeling, every grudge, somewhere inside, there's a tiny little voice saying, but I was right. And that voice, that's the one that keeps us stuck. In earlier reflections, we spoke about awareness, ego, and movement, and constant dance of life. And as we flow through this journey, something becomes more and more clear. Being righteous doesn't always mean being free. Sometimes righteousness becomes another form of our ego. Refined, polished, socially acceptable, but ego nonetheless. Let me share something that beautifully captures this idea. There was once a monk, deeply devoted, disciplined and righteous, and he lived by every rule of conduct, every principle of Dharma and the doctrine he followed. And one day, while walking along a forest path, he saw a young woman struggling to cross a muddy river. And without hesitation, he lifted her gently, carried her across, and placed her down on the other side. The woman thanked him, bowed, and left. Now, monks take a vow not to touch women. With him that day, a younger monk was also walking. And to the sight of what he witnessed, he was shocked. He stayed silent, but seethed inside. And then hours later, he couldn't contain himself. He said, Master, you broke your vow. You carried that woman. How could you? And the elder monk smiled and said, My son, I left that woman at the riverbank a few hours ago. Why are you still carrying her? That story, people, cuts right to the bone, doesn't it? We all carry something, grudges and hurts and justifications. And even after the moment has passed, the mind keeps replaying it over and over again, does it not? We keep crossing and recrossing that same muddy river inside of us. You see, the righteous mind loves to carry. It carries its logic, its pain, its moral correctness. But Dharma is about letting go. Letting go of the baggage after crossing the river. The truth is, Dharma isn't a rule book. It's not about what's right or wrong. It's about what's real and natural. Righteousness binds you to the I did this, they did that. But Dharma frees you from that game altogether. Righteousness is about the should, and Dharma is about the is. And when you act from righteousness, you're still performing, still trying to be seen as good. And when you act from Dharma, you're simply responding. Natural, effortless, spontaneous. So let's make this a little bit practical for you. You've had those moments where you've done something out of genuine goodness, right? We all have. And it's backfired. You've helped someone and they took advantage of you. You spoke your truth and someone said you're being arrogant. Then what happens? The inner voice says, see, that's why I shouldn't care. I was right all along. And once again, righteousness quietly becomes resentment. But Dharma doesn't depend on how the world responds. It's your state of being, the alignment of your thoughts and words and actions in naturalness. It doesn't need applause. It doesn't need argument. It just is. A wise teacher once asked, what is forgiveness? And the teacher said, it's letting go of the hope for a better past. It's letting go of hope for a better past. Now people, that's very powerful. Because the mind always tries to fix the past, to rewrite what already happened. And that's the game of righteousness, the endless argument with what is. And the moment you say, this shouldn't have happened, you've created a resistance. But Dharma says, it has happened. Now what? What can I do consciously, compassionately, naturally? The grudge is heavy, not because of what happened, but because of how tightly we keep holding on. When you observe without clinging, awareness opens space, people. You start to see that everyone in their own way is acting from their level of awareness. Their level of awareness. You start to notice even the person who hurt you was seeking peace, just in a distorted way. That doesn't make it right, but it makes it understandable. And understanding is what dissolves the poison of the grudge. The essence of Dharma is observation without opinion. To see without the need to judge or justify. To act without the shadow of the past divining your next move. Because when your observation is clear, perception opens up. And when perception opens up, your expression becomes pure. And that's when life stops being a tug of war between right and wrong and becomes a dance between awareness and action. So let me leave you with this thought, people. True Dharma is not about being a saint. It's about being real. You can be angry, but aware of your anger. You can disagree, but still be kind. You can fall, still know you're walking the path. And when your awareness is free from the need to prove, to defend, to be right, you begin to experience the quiet joy of being aligned with life itself. Ask yourself this: if you are right, does that make the other wrong? And if the other is wrong, what makes you so sure that you are right? Let that echo for a moment. That's the journey, not of righteousness, but of realness. Not of being right, but being light. And as you go about your day, remember the monk and the river. Cross it. Carry compassion, but leave the burden behind. And until next time.